Okay, so Katie and Shiv have just covered some of the broad details of AI and what's happening and changes and technology, and I'm going to go more into the nitty-gritty granular detail and share with you guys some practical examples of AI. Now, first of all, who is using AI actively in their business presently? Great, quite a few people. That's brilliant. Okay, so anyone who follows me knows that I've been banging on about AI quite a lot on social media. I actually am not incomplete. I think there is going to be more of a decimation and loss of jobs than perhaps some people do. I think it's inevitable because of the capability and what we've seen changing so fast and the capability of AI. So in this session, I'm going to share with you some updates about AI and then a practical example of how I've been using AI along with offshore edit squads to save time and money and increase productivity. And a lot of what I'm going to say, hopefully there'll be bits that you can take and apply in your brands. Not all of it, but some of it, in terms of ideas, because the world is changing really fast. It's not just the advent of AI, it's the backdrop of things like a cost of living crisis and the fact that lots of brands are not necessarily trading as well as they did or trading with the accelerated growth they did, and they're looking for ways to save costs. So these are just some of the tools I've tested. There's actually a load more, and I just was suddenly thinking, oh my God, I missed out that. Who's tried some of these tools here? Who's got a favourite tool they're using? Anyone want to share some favourite tools? Anyone got a favourite or a go-to trusted AI tool that they love? Jasper, Midjourney. Who likes Midjourney? Who's tried Midjourney? That's a mad world, isn't it? The Midjourney platform. That's a world of complete craziness. But Midjourney has actually done some brilliant work for me. So I'm going to be, in order to take you through this, I'm going to share a couple of projects with you, which are not really bulk digital projects. One is a passion project of mine, a not-for-profit project that some of you might know about. And the other is a retail brand that I'll be launching alongside bulk digital with someone very special in the room today who has asked me not to mention them, but I obviously will. Now, what is definitely true is that none of this would have been possible without AI. But however, what Katie said, and I can't remember the exact phrase she used, which was, I can't remember what she said, but you've got to use it alongside a human. It's also the case that none of this would be possible without an edit squad. And I'm going to be telling you exactly what that looks like and how it works. So the first project I'm going to share is my passion project called Biz Kids. Has anyone seen Biz Kids? Some of you on our newsletter, yeah. So this is something I started in lockdown when they said to us, oh, all mums have to teach a national curriculum. And I was thinking, good God, I actually looked at the number bonds and thought, I don't even know what that is. So I'm not going to teach that, that's for sure. Because I was also, like all of us, grappling with a business that had gone into volatility because of COVID. And I was like, there's no way I can do this. I will just teach my two kids, entrepreneurship, an hour a day, and I'll consider myself done. One of my kids is here today, actually, over there. So we started doing an hour a day in lockdown of entrepreneurship lessons for kids, and that soon grew until we had around 300 children joining us every day for lockdown. We ran that every day for 7 weeks. And it was absolutely brilliant, got a load of publicity, it was great fun. Then I did absolutely nothing with it for about 2 years. Everything just lived in a platform until the school strikes came around again. School strikes happened, and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to start Biz Kids again. This is something I always wanted to do. I really believe that children should know that there are options in life that aren't just about getting a job. I do believe there's things that aren't taught in schools, such as financial literacy, opportunity spotting, and personal development. So I relaunched Biz Kids on the day of the school strikes, and I now teach it with my 10-year-old daughter, Annalise, and we do a live lesson every Monday at 4:30. Now, some people might say, oh, God, how can you do that? Because you're running a business, etc. I'll tell you exactly how I do it, is using ChatGPT. And I'm going to come on to how I use ChatGPT to do it. So I pay for ChatGPT, I use ChatGPT 4, and ChatGPT basically acts as my trusted assistant on Biz Kids. It does all of the copy, all of the emails, and all our social media posts for Biz Kids. They then come to me back for editing because, as Katie says, it's not 100% reliable. It sometimes gets things wrong, but it's a lot easier to edit something than it is to stare at a blank screen and start writing. Anyone else find that? Okay, cool. I thought that was just me, so I'm glad to see it's like nothing worse than that staring at the blank screen moment. It's literally horrific. So how I use ChatGPT, and I know there's different ways, but what I do is I basically organise ChatGPT per topic, and I use naming conventions. Now, anyone who's run ads will know about naming conventions. It's how we organise our media. So I use the same types of naming conventions as you see in an advertising landscape for ChatGPT. I organise it per topic, so each thread contains a topic, and and it only contains that topic. And then I always start each thread by explaining to ChatGPT, this is what we're going to be working on today. I'm going to upload some information. I always say to it, do you understand the task? It is important because it gets very excitable sometimes, ChatGPT, and starts predicting what your task is going to be. It starts giving examples. So I say, wait, I'm uploading information, wait. You have to say, because it can't help itself but respond. And then say, do you understand the task? Now, a thread like Biz Kids, which has been running for 10 weeks already, will get incredibly long. So I'm always reminding ChatGPT in that anything it's writing about Biz Kids, it can refer back to the entirety of the thread. You know what? It's absolutely brilliant at it. Like, it totally will say things like, oh, and in lesson 1, we did this. And I'll be thinking, God, do you remember lesson 1? Like, I'd forgotten lesson 1, but thank you for remembering that brilliant moment and pulling it out. So without ChatGPT, it would have been absolutely impossible for me to be doing Biz Kids now. However, the next issue we have is TikTok and the fact it's a social media platform of choice that we're all on a lot. Who is spending their evenings meaning to do something else and then realising 2 hours have passed and they're on TikTok? Yeah, quite a few people. So the issue with TikTok, we have a rise of a new social platform which affects us all. It affects us it affects us as consumers where we're spending our time. It affects people's growth strategies, with TikTok being presently a largely organic play. And it also brings into existence a terrible production demand. I don't know if anyone else has found that, but you know what? One thing we see with brands the whole time is they want to master TikTok, but how the hell are they going to make all that content? It's an absolute, and I say to them, you know what, it's true, it's an absolute nightmare. Like, particularly if you're expecting your existing creative team to suddenly get to work and produce all the assets you do for TikTok. Oops. Okay. Let me just get some. Should I wait? Should I be patient? Let me just see what's happening over there. Hang on a second, bear with me. I know, it probably is. I'm just going to go back to our original deck. Hang on. Okay, so with the increased production demand of TikTok, us as an agency with the brands we work with, we have to be able to offer solutions to brands. And it's not a solution to a brand to say, okay, you're going to need to produce X number of TikToks, and because you're using this production team here in the UK, it's going to cost you this amount, and then the TikToks are going to be published so fast. So with that in mind, working with the AI, I have set up an edit squad, as they are called, in the Philippines. And my goal with this was to have a team of editors who are entirely self-training and self-managing, so that they would be able to go into a system, understand the brands and assets they were going to be working on, take themselves through onboarding, as they are editors, then start editing, and at that point, be able to become part of our team. This is the onboarding process for our edit squad. So they onboard themselves into us generally, the Bolt Digital world, and then they onboard themselves into our assets that have been in testing. So you can see Biz Kids is one of those assets, as is Bolt Digital. They complete their onboarding. Currently, around 30%, and then they go into a trial phase. Currently, around 30% of editors who enter that remain and stay in the edit squad. Once they are in, they have been absolutely phenomenal. They've created nearly 100 TikToks in 3 weeks, this team, with having trained themselves, onboarded themselves, and taken themselves through that process. So very low touch point and high expectation of meeting a certain standard, which they're perfectly capable of doing, and then into a production which is running remotely. So what have the results been? So Biz Kids started again on January the 30th, which was just after the first school strike. We've published a TikTok every single day. We've had viral videos achieving 1.5 million views across Facebook and Instagram. I actually haven't had a viral video before. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. It turns out, like, you don't explode, but it definitely has a massive impact in terms of following. We have had a load of kids joining Biz Kids because they have found it on TikTok. So they wouldn't have known about it. They're not people I know. They or their parents have found it on TikTok. We've had amazing new I've made amazing new contacts. There's loads of people who stepped in to help with Biz Kids, i.e. the CEO Stagecoach is doing pro bono mentoring with me, and we are now getting introductions to schools. So that is all through launching this and utilising AI and outsourced resource to drive reach and growth on that platform. So the next example I'm going to give you is a new initiative called the Notting Hill Company. And I'm just going to have to take you on a bit of a rewind story in order to give the context of this. Because back in 2000, when did the film Notting Hill come out? Anyone know? It's about 20 years old. Anyway, maybe it's older, because otherwise I'm going to make myself look like a bit of an idiot. But whatever, I watched that film when I must have been about 16 or 17. And I thought, what a magical film this is. And at the time, I was living in Bayswater, which is quite close to Notting Hill. And I thought, that's it. I'm going to move to Notting Hill because it looks so lovely and I just want to be there and want to be part of that landscape. So I became obsessed with Notting Hill, and I was living in Bayswater and thought, I'm going to move to Notting Hill and live and work in Notting Hill, which I duly did. And this was my office. This is an office on Portobello Road. And I had this office here. I was running my previous business, which was a press agency. This is my office. Quite a cool building. Anyway, every Friday I used to look out of the window and see all the people who come to Portobello Road. So there's around 80,000 people who visit Portobello Road each week. And I used to look down from that window and think, I need to find the entrepreneur in me just couldn't be helped. I thought I need to find something to sell these people. And I felt strongly that a lot of the souvenir sellers on Portobello Road were missing the point that the people had come to Notting Hill because it was Notting Hill. They hadn't come to Notting Hill because it was London. So they were all selling London souvenirs. And I launched this, the Notting Hill shopping bag. I'll ask in a minute if anyone's seen it. And Julie went round all the shops and stalls saying, does anyone want to, as a wholesale business, does anyone want to sell these bags for me? So has anyone seen this bag, the Notting Hill shopping bag? Yeah. I know it's pretty famous now, actually, to be honest. Oh my God, there's one in the room. That's amazing. Did you go to Notting Hill? Where did you get it from? Hold it up so everyone can see it. Do you know what? I have seen these bags in Spain, and that's just me. And sometimes I have to go up to them and say, hi, I created that. And then they're like, oh, God, this is embarrassing. And then I stand there embarrassed as well. But nonetheless, it is an iconic, now very famous souvenir that people visiting Notting Hill, like you, tend to buy. So since then, over 500,000 of these bags have been sold. And in 2017, I sold that business to Jan, who is sitting right here. Jan, put your hand up. So Jan was an amazing friend of mine since launching the Notting Hill shopping bag. Jan owns 3 shops in Portobello Road. He'll be very understated if you ask him about himself and what he does, but he runs 3 shops in a key location on Portobello Road and knows the fabric of that road inside and out. So Jan took over that business. We've obviously remained friends, and I moved my focus into bulk digital. So when it came to the advent of AI, and some of the challenges that brands were facing, and some of the things that we think, oh, could a brand do this? Could a brand do that? But we don't know. I thought, I'm going to put all this to the test now, and I'm just going to see what can be created with AI, Shopify, everything we know, all the technology, and how can I bring together all of this and create a brand at extremely low cost and extremely fast pace. So this is the Notting Hill Company, which I'll be telling you more about as we go. It is a merch brand, an official souvenir brand for Portobello Road. I have partnered again with Jan, who is my UK distributor in retail for this brand. And just to tell you how this has been created, the logo is created using outsourced graphic designers. Stock creation is using technology, print-on-demand platform called Printful. This means there's no stock cost and no supply chain, shipping issues or anything that we would need to worry about for online sales. The model assets come from Printful as well. Incredibly, this technology company, which is a print-on-demand combined with a 3PL company, also produce all model assets. The videos are made using technology, so obviously I haven't had any sort of photo shoot or employed any sorts of models. All of this is coming out of a tech platform called Placeit. For copy, we again run a Notting Hill Company thread in ChatGPT that contains all the information about this business, which means that content can be produced fast. And finally, the edit squad in the Philippines, where we have editors and a project manager, then take all the assets and do remixing for TikTok. As I said, I'm back working with Jan, which I'm completely thrilled. And this is Jan's shops here. You can actually, this is the day I went to see Jan, just randomly visiting, saw someone with a Notting Hill shopping bag and accosted them in the street. But these are Jan's shops. You can see all the bags outside his shops. So in terms of my favourite AI tools, I have literally tried all of them. And you know what? It's very easy to get distracted by an AI tool and think, I imagined when I first embarked on this AI journey, I was going to have 10 different AI tools at play. In actual fact, from going through them all and using them, paying for all of them, that's all been culled now. Really, there's only 2 AI tools through which all of this is run. The first one is ChatGPT using Model 4, because it can take the amount of content you need to upload into it, and paid for it. None of the AI tools I find are better than ChatGPT once you know how to prompt it and organize it. If you look at the likes of Jasper and you think, oh, this is amazing because it's doing the prompting for me, but it doesn't have enough space, it doesn't have enough context, it can't take the trained learning from the past. So ChatGPT, from my point of view, is absolutely the best AI that there is, but the key is training it and organizing it, and also using bookmarks on your desktop so you can get straight back to your thread quickly. For video editing, it really is Descript. Has anybody tried Descript? Yeah, so Descript is an absolute game changer for video editing, particularly if you've got video editing where people are talking in videos, which relates to a lot of you guys. All the asset transfer and everything with the Edit Squad is done through Descript, so that all of us work through Descript. Descript's our central portal. It has saved so much time in editing, in transferring assets, in uploading and downloading assets, all this stuff. In correcting mistakes, if say there's typos on subtitles, whatever, it can all be done so fast. So that's been an absolute game changer. And those are my 2 preferred AI tools, having tried a lot of them. I do think some of the image creation ones like Midjourney are great, but they're probably not so relevant for brands. It's about $35 a seat, so $35 an editor. Incredibly low cost if you imagine you can get a whole editing team using it for $35 each. Are there any other questions on that, just before I go on to the next slide? Oh, hello, Adam. Growth assistance. No, it's something I've created, my own Edit Squad. So it's not I don't know growth assistance. No, this is me creating my own Edit Squad to organise people and ensure our own efficiency in bulk digital. Huh? Mainly Upwork. So in terms of Upwork, I have a queue of editors waiting to go into the Edit Squad. This is because I know that the Edit Squad will need to do more edits. I know there's going to be a lot of volume of edits going through it. And secondly, I don't want to become, this is going to sound brutal, but I want to have a production where I know that people may come and go from it, and that I can bring them through and they can edit and they can be good. And if they decide to do something different, then that's fine. So from Upwork, I have a queue of editors coming into the Edit Squad. They're going through onboarding, and then some of them are in live editing.
Where do you do your onboarding, and what system do you use?
So in time, this would become an official learning online platform. I'll just show you. I just use a Trello onboarding. So Trello and Google Drive is how we onboard them. And really, everything is originating off of Google Drive and Loom videos. Okay, so part of what we do at Bulk Digital is obviously our work with in-house teams. A lot of in-house teams are asking us about how they save time, how they save money. Should they fire all their team because of AI? How can they bring AI into their business? All those sorts of questions. And some of what we've covered today is some of the work we do in in-house teams and helping them increase their efficiency and output. And we're really proud of some of the in-house teams we've worked with. The Inky List has recently went through a playbook with us around 12 months ago, working with their in-house team, some of whom are here today, and that resulted in a reduction in days between purchase, 55%, a 43% increase in email from revenue, and a 23% increase in ROAS from upskilling and training their in-house team. Now, we're about to go to lunch, but before we do, I have a very special surprise for people. So obviously, as the Notting Hill company comes into fruition, we are going to be making lots of social content about the Notting Hill company that we already are. And with that in mind, I have got some of the very first from the production line hoodies from the Notting Hill company. Now, we don't have enough for everyone, so there's going to be a bit of a bun fight. If we could just put your hand up if you would like one of the very first Notting Hill Company hoodies, and we will be passing them out. Sorry, we're going to throw them out on 3. Okay, shit, they're everywhere. We're going to throw all of them. Okay. Yes, she does. Wait, 3. Are all the hoodies duly thrown? If you've got one and you want to, Nadine's got one, I'm so happy. You both got one. Amazing. If you want to put it on and wear it for my edit squad to edit it, then please do, because we will welcome any raw footage.